And good morning here. Good morning, Steve. Welcome, guys. I am almost ready to go. I've had one of those busy mornings again, but it seems everything is fine up to a point. And we've got quite a few guys. I think I counted 8 or 9 guys flying with. So I'll show you guys outside just now. Some of them obviously have left already. Good morning, Rob. Linda needs to do the trim before we forget. And then I need to start my APU. And that's about it. Then we can go, huh? No, that is all set. Oh, yes. Overhead. I just need to check that too. It's supposed to be 3.5. Landing, I think, is about right. Just check. Just small little things. Good morning, Flight Simmer X. Guys, I hope you had a good Saturday. Mine didn't turn out too badly, to be honest, so I also had a good night's rest, not as bad as Friday, so I'm also feeling kind of better. Right, let's get this APU going. And pull the truck. Okay, I think I actually called it already. Let's see. Yeah, there it is waiting for me. Hey, jet power. Right, so we are leaving Shannon. I didn't even check if we have ATC. Oh my goodness, yes we have. We have. Couple of guys going, that's to expect it. Excellent. Now I need to get my notepad and stuff out so that we can actually write down what we need to do before start procedure.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Hey Dominic, goeiemôre. Hello Alex, goeiemôre.
Before start procedure complete.
Whiteboard.
Ready for before start checklist.
I am on stand.
Good morning, Shannon Ground, Skymatix VA 8, stand 26 of Bravo, requesting
right, the tow's been connected and the bypass pin's been inserted. You can release the parking brakes when you're ready.
Good morning, please. Information Charlie is current here, cleared to Southampton is filed. LUNIG 3 off departure, initial climb 5,000 feet, squawk 5421.
Copy information Charlie is current and departing Lulu 3 Alpha departure, initial altitude 5,000 feet and squawking 5421 for Skymatix 008.
Skymatix 008, read back correct, report when ready for push.
Report next ready for push. 008.
Shannon Grant, good morning. Skymatix 001, stand 39. Information Charlie on board, requesting IFR clearance as filed.
Skymatix 001, Shannon Grant, good morning, please. Information Charlie is you're cleared to Southampton is filed, LUNIG 3 Alpha departure. Initial climb 5,000 feet, squawk 2207.
And squawk is 2207, initial altitude 5,000 on the Luni 3 Alpha departure of runway 06, Skymatix 001. Hello, mommy.
Skymatix 001, read back correct, report when ready for push.
TACQI will call you when we're ready for push.
Skymatix 014, cancel push clearance, start at that. The company just pushed into south.
But we do not have a center, we have a ground and a tower.
Skymatix 014, acknowledge, cancel push clearance.
Yeah, my pushback's gone a bit wild where I changed it, so I will cancel that. I think you're on.
Sky Active, good
014,
morning.
sorry for that again. I'll contact you when I'll give you a push.
Yeah, no problem, Skymatix 014.
Right, Linda, you did all that. It's fine. Need that.
And ground Skymatix 052, ready for start.
Skymatix 052, pushing starter, please, special west.
First base, facing west, Skymatix 052.
Ground Skymatix 001 is ready for push and start. Can we push facing east?
Skymatix 001, AFM, pushing starter, please, west east.
Start pushback, and you might start your engines there when you're ready.
Start number 2 engine. Come on,
Starting
Linda.
number 2 engine. (25N2).
Skymatix 014, pushing starter, please, face west.
Pushing top through face west, 014.
Starter cutout.
Start number 1 engine.
Starting number 1 engine. (25N2).
Right, the operation has been complete. Get set to park and brake when you're ready.
Starter cutout. Engine start procedure complete.
Right, disconnecting the tow, stand by.
Ready for before taxi procedure.
Before taxi procedure.
Before taxi procedure.
Right, the tower's been disconnected. The bypass bin has been removed. The hand signal will be on the
Before
right.
taxi
We'll see you
procedure
next time.
complete.
Take care, good luck.
I
Thank
am
you,
ready
Mr.
for before
Ground
taxi
Guy.
checklist.
Alright, let's wait for our pin and then we go. There he goes. Skymatix 001 ready for taxi.
Skymatix 001, taxi left on the Alpha, hold short Alpha.
Taxi left on Alpha and hold short Alpha, Skymatix 001. Here we go. Yeah, sorry, I am
Lights on.
preoccupied, obviously, but Alex, that's a very good question. Skyactiv, if there's anything specific you want to know, you must ask.
Ground Skymatix 052, ready for taxi.
While we're talking about learning,
Skymatix 052, company is in front of you, so you have to wait until they have gotten taxi claims. Taxi Alpha, hold short Alpha.
Yeah, no problem. Taxi Alpha, hold short Alpha, and I'll just wait.
Right.
Company in front to get clear.
let's do this. I'll tell you about the IVO training when I'm in the air and out of
Skymatix 014 ready for taxi.
ATC. So the ATC doesn't bother us.
Hold short
Hello,
Alpha.
Matt.
Taxi Alpha, hold short Alpha, Skymatix 01.
Skymatix 001, contact the tower 118.7, bye-bye, have a nice flight.
Thank you for your service, contacting Tower, and we'll speak to you soon again. Thank you, bye-bye. Skymatix 001. And Tower, good morning. Skymatix 001 on our way to hold short at Alpha.
Skymatix 001, Shannon Tower, hello, hold Alpha.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, we'll hold short on Alpha, Skymatix 001. Matt, there's not enough time in our days, man. We've got families, we've got work, you know, real work and all kinds of other stuff. There's not enough time, and there's 7.5 years, almost 8 years. In December, it will be 8 years invested in this product here. Nobody just walks away from that, eh? Not at this time. Hello, Andrew. Now, Skyactiv, you mustn't be shy, eh? When you see something, you know, shout. Morning, James. I see you joined me, eh? This 2024 has been crazy for all of us. You know, there's been times where Zibo goes without 3 weeks, you know, 3 weeks at a time where we don't speak to each other. And then all of a sudden it's just work again. And then, you know, some days it's like been like the last 2 weeks. We've been very busy, and then him and Twixter gets busy, and, you know, we all get our turn, eh? I don't know, Matt.
Good morning, Shannon. Skymatix 014, holding on Alpha for 06.
Skymatix 014, Shannon Tower, good morning, hold at Alpha, your number 3 for departure.
Hold at Alpha, number 3 for departure, Skymatix 014.
You guys must always remember we were novices too at one point in time, eh? So you must never be shy to ask. This is one place where we like to train people. I think I'm stronger in presenting training than I'm really in doing entertainment. I'm not much of an entertainer, but I can teach you a couple of things. And there's nothing like a stupid question. If you don't know, you don't know. And if somebody doesn't tell you, you will never learn. So you have to ask. You know, always remember that. Absolutely. I remember many years ago when I started working for the first company. In fact, no, it was the second company I worked for. We had to deal with a nuclear physicist. Okay, this guy built nuclear bombs, man. He was, you know, one of these guys that was so clever. He had a very limited EQ. His social skills and stuff was very limited, you know, so people were afraid of this guy. And guess who had to deal with him? Me. You know, and one day we were sitting and talking. Microsoft actually headhunted him here from South Africa, and he actually went to work in Redmond for them. And it was so funny. I can't remember the guy's name. I still see him in front of me. Don't know what his name is, but this guy was absolutely brilliant. He left the nuclear field, went into programming, and we ended up actually becoming friends, you know, at that point in time, the brief moment in time we had. And I remember in one of the meetings, we were sitting and we were talking about Microsoft and the big boys over there doing all their programming, and this guy with his background and all. And a comment was made that I will never forget. The boss, the owner of the business, said, "You must always remember they're just people like us, okay? Some of them just have an higher IQ and such, you know, but they're just people like us."
Skymatix 001 at Alpha, backtrack runway 06.
Backtrack runway 06 and Skymatix 001. Yeah. So my mind is still at the story. Anyway, so the lesson that I learned that day was they're just people like us. You know, they might be a little bit more clever, have a little higher IQ, whatever, but they're just people like us. And it meant a lot for me going into the world.
Good morning, Skymatix 052 on Alpha, just holding short behind company.
Morning, Gilbert, Jerry.
Good morning. Your number 3 departure, looking at about 5-minute delay.
Yeah.
No problem. Number 3 for departure, 5 minutes. Skymatix 052.
No, it wasn't. No, Gilbert. I wish I knew. I wish I could remember. I think maybe one day it will pop in my mind again, but it was kind of German sounding, but I can't tell you exactly what it was. But the lesson is they're just people like us, you know, and when I deal with people, I don't care, you know, where they are in life, in the class system or whatever you want to call it. Man, they can only have 3 meals a day. They also need to use the loo, you know. It's just people like us. They just happen to be in a different position, you know. And if you can get your head around that, it's easy enough to deal with anybody, whether they're the king or the, you know, chimney sweep. It doesn't matter. You realize they're just people like you. It's just they happen to be in a different position, maybe a little bit smarter. Who cares? But they're people like you. There you go, Magnus. Absolutely. No, Gilbert, don't you worry. No, don't worry about that. It's fine. I don't want to sound too serious either, but that's a good lesson that you guys can take with you. You know, one of the guys, strangely enough, and I don't know if he ever realized this or if I ever told him, when I first started streaming, a lot of guys made fun of my voice. They hated my voice. And there's a lot of guys out there that will tell you they can't look at my streams because of my voice. My voice irritates them, right? Let me just get this done quickly. I'll tell you the rest of the story now. Before takeoff procedure.
Skymatix 001, surface winds 120 degrees 7 knots.
Before takeoff procedure.
Runway 06 cleared for takeoff. Skymatix 001.
06.
Yeah, we're waiting on Laminar to do that. We've done our bit for now. We're literally waiting on Laminar to do their side. It will come when 12.1.3 is released.
Ready for before takeoff checklist.
Skymatix 014
Stabilized.
after the
Takeoff thrust set.
taking off traffic company. Backtrack runway 06.
80 knots. Throttle hold.
Coming traffic, backtrack 06, 014.
Positive rate.
001, measurement over ATC, continue with Unicom 1122.8, bye-bye.
Thank you so
Last
much
one
for your
set.
service. Have a great day. Switching Unicom 122.8, Skymatix 001.
Acceleration
Have a nice
altitude.
flight.
Right, let me get to Unicom quickly, then I'll tell you. Right. So anyway, my voice became a bit of a burden for me because, you know, people were making fun of me, and it was funny. I actually, you know, I didn't take an offense to it, but it made me question whether I really want to stream, whether I really want to be on YouTube and Twitch and all these places, right? Then one of my buddies one day said to me, "No, man, you're silly. We all hear you talk the same way the whole day, every day. We don't think it's funny." So that gave me a bit of a kickstart. It made me feel a little bit better. But the big thing happened.
Transition.
One day I was sitting here behind my desk, and the next moment John Fly sends me a private message. He actually contacted me and he gave me a bit of a pep talk and all. And we actually spent quite a few minutes together, and I really appreciated that, you know, because in my mind he was one of the big streamers, one of the big guys, and, you know, that he actually reached out to me was like manna from heaven, you know. It was just amazing. This guy comes to me. And we've had one or two chats since then, but we don't really chat a lot. In fact, we hardly ever chat. Like I say, once or twice, 3 times maybe. But it just shows you, you know, that sometimes you live with preconceived ideas that is not necessarily true. And if you let yourself be stopped by something so small, you're depriving other people of the joy and the benefit, you know, including yourself. You know, so you've got to really think before you make big decisions. You know, it's not always about you. It's not always, you know, you that is, well, let me put it this way. It's not always other people that limits you. Sometimes it's you. And you just have to break that barrier. You just have to kind of get out of it. And that's why we have this community and why we all help each other and why I try and keep it real, you know. And that's why I do get angry sometimes, and that's why I do get happy sometimes, because I'm trying to keep it real. So anyway, that was just a little bit of pep talk for somebody on the stream that needed to hear it today. Don't give up. Just go for it, man. Jay Moyam, good morning. Yeah, I'm not speaking about level up anymore. If you want to know anything, you're welcome to ask Magnus. As of yesterday, I gave him and Peter notice that I'm keeping quiet on that front. I'm not answering any more questions. 3:30 deck. Yeah, thank you, ground. Appreciate it. Thanks for your service.
Flight level 100. Landing lights switches off.
Yeah, the influence of Flemish in our Afrikaans language is very strong, because Afrikaans is a mixture of Flemish, Dutch, German, French. You know, that is very strong in South Africa, because all our forefathers are either from the Netherlands, Belgium, France, Germany. You know, those are the big places where the guys came from. So just always remember that. Someone, sorry, I missed obviously on the network that you were saying there, the question. You can fill me in again. Okay, Active Sky Media, when we get closer, we're going to do an ILS approach. I'll talk you through it. Please remind me, okay? And thank you, Gilbert. I'm glad you think there's nothing wrong with my voice, but I tell you what, I did have a struggle. In the beginning, the guys were throwing me with virtual tomatoes, man. Yeah, look, I mean, accents are accents, you know. Let me have a look at ACARS. Yeah, now I can see quite a few guys on there, eh? Yeah, Alex, I try and behave myself, you know. I've got a lot of people looking at me, and I can't behave like a hooligan, because people don't like that either, you know. So I really have to mind what I say, but sometimes I just have to say something. Well, Alex, I don't know if Belgium, I don't know the history of Belgium, but my great-grandfather in 1700s, in fact, he came at the end of the 1600s. He came to South Africa, and he's from Flanders. Okay, so if you go to Flanders now, you should pick up on the history of my family. I researched it back to, I think, 1210 or something was the earliest I could go back where there's history of my family in Flanders. You know, my great-grandfather. So that gives you something to think about. In the middle of France, yeah. My wife is a mixture between French and Basque, you know, so I don't know how that happened, but if you see her, you'll immediately recognize the Basque image, you know. She's got that same light skin, fair skin with the dark hair, left-handed, negative blood recess factor, the whole tutti, you know. It's aliens, you know, it's how it works. Good morning, Carl. Let me have a look-see quickly. On the A-cars, let's have a look-see. Someone, I'm not sure what your real name is, to be honest, at this moment. I mean, I'm going through all of them. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in this flight, and then there are various guys all over the world flying. So you'll have to tell me. Samuel. Oh, okay. Let me have a look. There, I've got you. Yeah, I've got you in the middle of France. Exactly. I see now what you meant about the middle of France. Got it. That's interesting, Gilbert. Yeah, my wife has actually left. She's gone to fetch my daughter now, so I can speak more freely now, if you understand what I mean. As long as she doesn't get the note from Uncle John, I should be fine. That's one thing about Uncle John. He says he loves me, but he loves her more. And every now and then I say something, he says, be careful, I'm going to tell your wife. It's funny. Yeah, he's that kind of guy. Huh? If he goes on a mission, Alex, you must check him, man. Nothing stops him when he's on a mission. James, can you hear me? I know you're sitting here next to me, so you should be able to hear me. Just give me a thumbs up or something quick. Okay. Guys, my daughter just came upstairs. She says to me that she's going to leave with her mom. Now, she was out, obviously, and they went to fetch her. I didn't know they came back, so I better watch out until she actually leaves before I start talking too much again, you know. Sky Active Media, my background in aviation was very limited to the early 2000s. I mean, I've been flight simming since I was a young adult, you know, since 1986. I got my first simulator. But in real world aviation, I had a short-lived career option, you know, that I tried. But personal problems and stuff came in the way of me completing my dream. So right now I'm living my dream through the simulator, you know, and I've worked for one of the local airlines here, and I was involved with their flight simulator. And I mean, most of my friends are real pilots, you know, so my kind of my training has always been more centered around the 738, you know. So my little bit of background did help to get me in the places I eventually ended up, and now I'm just living the dream here through the sim. Thank you, Alex, for that reminder. Go for it, Gilbert. We'll talk later again. Goeiedag vir jou. Hello, Andrew, you again. Yeah, two girls who always invade the cockpit when I'm trying to fly. Yeah, it happens. Yeah. Flight SimRX, I'm a bit old now. There's no ways, unless I win the lotto and I pay my own way, there's no ways I'll ever get to fly this thing in the real world. The closest I have gotten to fly this 737-800 is in the actual level D training simulator here at FAOR. I mean, I've got a couple of hours on that thing now, and I love flying it. I just don't get enough time to really go there. And for those of you that don't know, they actually use the Zibo FMC in their training curriculum for the real world pilots, you know, so we've got a connection there as well for that. And you know, I must actually make a plan to go and visit them a little bit again. But anyway, that's just also background. Right, well, we've just left the Irish coast. There it is behind us. Getting over the ditch here. Yeah, I don't look at the leaderboard, I must be honest. It's better for me not to look at it because you don't get good landings every day. And also the other thing is, as far as I know, you need to build up a bit of a track record, and then some of those figures are actually based on averages, and I'm not familiar with it. If you really want to know all the intricate detail, what you need to do is ask Marco. He'll tell you. He's the programmer. He knows all those intricate details. James, in your custom data, obviously it's complaining about your Navigraph stuff that's in custom data. So let me just see if it gives you an actual path here. Yeah, in custom data, you see there it mentions the file earthfixdat. Just delete that one. Delete that one file, earthfixdat. Then try and start your sim, because that is your problem, that one file. No, nothing happens. Look, let me tell you the whole story quickly from the beginning, because you're obviously new now. The Skymatix VA is not supposed to be a second job or a third job, you know. It's not supposed to be something that you dread to want to use. It's supposed to be there for fun and games and just to enjoy yourself. You know, we've got a huge database of flights that you can do, and then you get brownie points in between. The system is written in such a way, it was developed by the initial developer, that you can run it as if it was a business, an actual airline. So there's financial components and there's all kinds of rule components and all these things. We don't look at things like that. We don't care. You know, all we want is that you guys enjoy yourself. Okay. So there's no negative scoring from our side. We don't care. You know, if you crash the aircraft, you crash the aircraft. Who cares? You know, it's virtual. You get in it. We virtually fix it overnight for you, or with a reload of the airplane. You know what I'm saying? So the idea isn't to bog you down and to give you heart palpitations because you haven't done a flight in 3 months and they're going to get you off the roster and all those things. So the whole idea is it's a gathering place, like a watering hole for the animals, you know, here in Africa where I'm from. You see, we give you facilities, and it's costing us a bundle, you know, to have it running, and then once a year we do like a fundraising year amongst each other, and we quickly pay all the bills and everything, and then it runs another year, and you know, we use it to create flights with and to have fun with. That's the whole basic idea of the Skymatix VA. You know, we've got almost all the flights for Southwest Airlines, almost all the flights of Ryanair. And then we have made up so many. I mean, I don't know how many there is. There's probably like 6,000 flights in the database here. You know, and we continuously add a little bit more. I still have a dream. I want to add more flights in South America, for instance, and in Indonesia. Those are two areas we haven't really concentrated on. But again, time is a bit of a problem. Once I get time again, I'll add more flights. But if you get any negative score and things like that, then nothing we can do. We don't check it. We don't care. There's only one thing that has proven itself to be a problem, right? And that is if you fly a 737 route, but you fly it. Oh, let me restart. If you fly an international route, let's say intercontinental, okay, and you select the wrong aircraft. So let's say, for instance, you're flying it with a 747, but you book it under a 737, and then you log 12 hours. You can't fly 12 hours with a 737, and then immediately, you know, there are some people in the VA that will lift their eyebrows and say, hang on, this guy cheated. You can't do this. See what I'm saying? So that's the only real issue we've ever picked up in all the years we've had it, and we started this VA before COVID already. So this VA is like 5 years old, and in all those years, that's the only issue that have really upset some of the people, because that influences the scoreboard, and some of these people want to be on top, and they don't like it when people cheat, you know. So you can't file a 737 when you did it in a 747, for instance, or a 777 or something like that. That's it. There's no rules, and you got to do this and that by this time and that time. There's nothing like that. We just enjoy it. Right, so let's start talking about this ILS. Are you still here? Are you ready to listen about this ILS? I just want to see, who was it again that said that? Or was it Sky Active? Just asking about it. Trying to read through the comments quickly. It. Yeah, Yeah, Sky active. Okay, are you still here? Are you ready to listen? Good. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're quickly going to open our charts here. Right, so that's us over there, and we're going to land there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my chart quickly. Someone, that's something you'll have to come to Discord or and show your screen to somebody here, because obviously you're doing something wrong. Okay, so I don't know what it would be. Okay, so what is important, first of all, is obviously you need to have your localizer frequency set and you need to have your final approach course set. Okay, that's the two first basic things. So in terms of your final approach course, let me just turn my head so you guys can see it all. Right. Because we have two independent autopilots that work together in the system, you have to do it both sides. So always remember that. So the course heading there is 199. See, there's 199 there. I'll put 199 there. Then we're going to go down. We're going to go and insert the ILS frequency, and the ILS frequency is 11075. I'm going to flip it over 11075, and then I can push it back, and then we can do that side as well. 11075. Okay, so it's imperative to have it on both sides, captain and first officer. All right. Once that is done, we're going to look at our descent altitude. Now, when you're flying online like we are now, we obviously have to check whether there is ATC, because you cannot descend until an ATC guy has given you permission. Right, so we do not have any ATC. Let me quickly show you. Edge. Right, so that's us, all the blue guys, and me, the yellow guy coming in. There's Southampton, the tower is online, but there's nobody that's going to stop us from descending. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to then look at our descent altitude. Our platform altitude is 1,800, right, that we need to be at. So we're going to drop our altitude to 1,800. Might help if we zoom in a little bit, hey? 1,800. Okay. Going to put my auto brake on 3 quickly. In fact, that's a very short run. I'm going to put it on full auto brake. Exactly, Alex. Yeah, it's all big, guys. We try and make it as real as possible, but you know, anyway, get back to this. Then the other thing we need to check is our minimums. Our decision height here is 244 foot, so we need to quickly go and set that up as well. $244. Okay, so that is all the information that you get from your approach chart that you need to set up to do this ILS in the first place, right? You need your frequency, your frequency, your localizer frequency, and your approach course. You need your platform altitude, where you're going to descend to, and then your minimums. So we know that we've now taken everything we need from this chart at this point in time. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to check our weather. Now I'm using xEnviro. This is the xEnviro tool that's built in. Okay, and it tells me my QNH is 1000. Right, so we're going to put in 1000 over there. That goes into the standby mode. You see, we're currently on standard. Once we get close to our transition flight level, we're going to hit the standard button. It's going to swap them over. Right, so that's the next thing. Then what we're going to do, we're going to do the VNAV, we're going to set up our forecast, and we're going to request the descent winds. We're going to load it. Okay, so to make things easy for you, if you do not have access to a calculator, you don't know how it works, don't worry too much about ISA. But for Pete's sake, do not forget the local QNH at the airport. Okay, you have to put the local QNH in. And just to refresh your memory, EGHI is 1000. We have to put the 1000 in. Okay, so the way you do it is you can just put 1, 1, 2, 3, and you can hit the button and execute. Okay, if you do not put the correct QNH in there, your VNAV path is going to be wrong, and you're going to find that you are either going to be too high or too low on finals. So this is why it's imperative that you have your QNH correct. ISA is going to help, okay? But to get the ISA going, you're going to need something like this. Where is my display capture? Right, so in my private hangar, the link is in the notes below the video. If you click on show more, you'll get all the links. What we want to do is we want to obviously go look at our STKP again to get to Navigraph. So what we're looking for is your airport elevation is 44 foot. It's 44. And the current temperature, let's just quickly grab our weather again. The current temperature is 14. And that means our ISA deviation is -1. So we can actually put -1/1. Right, now we filled in everything. Archie, morning. Yes, thank you so much for your service. Appreciate you guys rocking up for us this morning again. Okay, our next step is going to be we need to calculate what our landing weight will be, because that is how we're going to get our V-speeds. And the landing weight is very easy to calculate. At EGHI, we are estimated that we are going to be weighing about, the fuel on board is 3 tons worth of fuel. But we currently have 3.7 tons. So the difference is 700. So we go to our initialization page here, the approach reference page, we can subtract 700. So that leaves us with 60.8. Once you put it in there, you'll see the V-speeds change. Now you can select your flaps. Okay, in this instance, I'm going to take flaps 40 because the runway is short. Okay, I'm going to take flaps 40 and 136, and you'll see, look at 60.8. If I move off this page and I come back, it's reverted to our current gross weight again. Okay, so you can't mess up anything, but you have to put the estimated landing weight in there to get the correct V-speeds, because you can clearly see, although it's only 1 knot, it's different. It's totally different now, whereas if you put your calculated value in there, immediately changes those values. Right, so now you have the correct landing weight, so you should have the correct V-speeds. Right, now if you go to your PFD, you will see your VREFs, all the VREF speed there. So we want to be 136 plus 5. I didn't check the winds. Okay, forget about the winds for now. We don't have to worry about that now. If you have a major influence of wind, there are calculations that you need to do to compensate. So you'll add more than just the plus 5. But for our intents and purposes today, let's just keep it basic. Okay. I'll tell you now what the wind is. The wind is only 3 knots. On the nose, right, sorry, I'm lying. It's 3 knots from the left and 1 knot on the nose, so it's insignificant for our purposes here, right? But if you have a huge wind component, then obviously, like I said, we will talk about that when we get there, you know. I'll show you how to do that. And that's it. So we've got the V speeds, we've got the barrow reference for our decision height, our minimums. We've got the actual QNH waiting for us. The magenta lines are all working. We are ready to do the descent once we get to top of descent, which is designated there. This aircraft will start the descent on its own, right? So if we check our frequencies, minimas and courses, we're basically ready for landing. Okay. Now, one of the things I just want to bring under your attention is there are a lot of guys that sometimes say that the Zibo is not following the ILS. All right. If you want to just check on your approach reference page, there it's got the actual data for you. So if you don't have charts, make sure that that is what you put into your radio, because this is what the Zibomod will expect. So if your AirRack is out of date, for instance, this could be different. Then it doesn't help you go to the forum and say, oh, the Zibo can't do an ILS. It's because you're using the wrong data sets. You understand? So you guys just have to learn these kind of things. Right, but that's it. We are literally ready to start the descent and do our thing. All right. Now, another thing that sometimes happens to the new guys is they forget to set their approach course, or they, you know, neglect to set up the MCP correctly. But this is very important. If you have the wrong approach course, and if you did not step through your legs page and you didn't take out any anomalies, okay, what happens a lot, and it's usually related to your approach course, is you go onto the ILS and the aircraft suddenly turns around, or it just goes into a different direction. It doesn't follow the ILS, and it's not because the ILS doesn't work, it's because you're telling it, you know, it's getting the wrong reference from you. So you must always remember to have your approach courses and do them both sides. So it must be correct. That will prevent the aircraft from veering off course on the ILS. And that's it. That's how easy it is. I hope that makes sense. Sky Active, I always start at around about 100 nautical miles. I would say when you see on your top of descent there, it should say anywhere between 100 and 150 nautical miles from top of descent. Obviously, if you're slow, if you're still beginning, start at 150 nautical miles before descent. If you're faster, you can go down to 100. But in my opinion, that's an ideal place, you know, to actually start doing the descent preparation, because look how long it takes, you know, and if you're new, it's going to be slower. And the last thing you want to do as a new pilot is to reach the top of descent and the aircraft does not descend because you are not in the position where you have set the altitude already. See, that is very important. The aircraft will not descend if your altitude is not lower than where you are at that time. See, so to buy yourself time, start at 150, and then as you get better, you bring it down. I like to do it round about anywhere between 100 and 150. Then the other thing that I might as well show you while we are here, if you go to your legs page and you go find your final approach fix, that will be FI20. We can select that, put it in the scratch pad, go to fix, enter it there, and this is how I teach the guys, and I'll give you the background just now. We put /7, that's 7 miles from the fix, and we do 5 miles from the fix, and then we do 3 miles from the fix. Right? If you follow this direction that I just gave you, right, it's going to draw range rings around that waypoint. And then it's easy. When you get to the first ring, you go flaps 1. When you get to the second ring, you go flaps 5. The third ring, you go, you know, there's a recipe. In fact, I actually think I said it incorrectly. Let me just quickly think about it. Let's go have a look. I actually think I skipped one. Just quickly get there. Sorry, guys. Usually when I do training, I actually do a bit of preparation beforehand. Yeah. So the first one is flaps 1, flaps 5, gear down flaps 15. And when you get to your inner circle, you go to landing flaps, your landing configuration. If you are already set up to land by that time, then your speed window should not be open and you can actually use VNav straight down. The moment your little Q goes solid magenta for the ILS, your speed window opens. So what we're trying to teach the new guys is to get configured for landing there already before the nose dips and that thing opens, because otherwise you're going to have to manually turn the speed down to get to your landing speed. Okay, so that's just a little bit of background. So flaps 1, flaps 5, gear down flaps 15, and before you reach the actual waypoint, you have to be in landing configuration, which in our situation is either 30 or 40, and for us today it's 40. That's it. So that's another trick to help you guys get to where you want to be safely and in time. You have to go and learn the configuration in the EFB. Every single setting is here. So if you go to your display and variants, I think it should be in here. We can quickly walk through them. Let's look at system. Yeah. Multi-mode receiver. If you say no, you're back at the old radios. If you say yes, whoops, sorry. There you go, there's your MMR. Okay, and then if you change something, please make sure come to save and load and quick save. You have to save your setting, otherwise next time you restart the Zibomod, it's gonna revert back to whatever you had. Okay, so you have to remember to save it. Morning, Alberto. You're welcome. So we actually did some training today. That was really nice. Morning, David. Yeah, all good in you?
Yeah, pretty good. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, you're welcome, Red Power. Guys, if you want an actual tutorial, go on my YouTube channel. I made one where I did a flight with the PMDG and the Zibo in the same tutorial. There is an index, so you don't have to sit through the one if you don't want to see the one. Okay, so you can skip either PMDG or Zibo and just look. I literally flew them in one video so you can compare them as well. Anyway, so I think it's worthwhile watching the whole thing, but it is rather long. But there I talk you through basically everything. Excellent, Mohammed. No, I'm glad you learned that. Yeah, now you come with a doozy, eh? I'm gonna have to think how I'm gonna answer that one. Because there's more than one way to answer it. Okay, so if we're talking about let's use the ILS, make it easy. Okay, the ILS has got a certain beam. The beam is facing a certain course value. You need to have your system set up on the course value. Now that's usually a runway heading. Okay, but what happens is now, yeah, I'm thinking how to bring everything together. Because a part of it is going to be influenced by your winds as well. Okay, so how am I going to explain this? See, my English is now leaving me. The course value is the actual direction that you need to be flying in, whereas the heading is the one that could be influenced with the winds, where you would have to compensate for winds with. But as an entry-level pilot, how do I make it easy? Let's say this. The heading is going to be the direction your nose is pointing, whereas the course is the heading that you fly in. I hope that makes sense. I hope I got it correct now. Okay, so when you fly the ILS, you have to have the courses correct, because that is the beam course. That is the actual runway course. You have to have your heading set up, because if you have to do a go around, you need to fly runway heading. But that becomes tricky then afterwards. So I wish Sasso was here. He would have given you a much better explanation than that. I'm going to quickly try and Google that for you to get a better explanation. Don't worry. It's okay. Yeah, okay, so Google says the true heading in the direction the aircraft nose is pointing. Reference is true north. Okay, we don't worry about the true north, but that's what I said. The heading is where the nose is pointing. The true course is the aircraft path over the ground, reference to true north. Okay, so that's the elaboration of it. I'm just going to copy that anyway for you. Alright, so I tried my best, man. What can I say? Like I said earlier, I try and keep it real. There you go. There you go. Exactly. Sorry, I was just very... What's the right word? My answer was a bit bulky. I was trying to get to the point. But there you go. Thank you so much, 777. Appreciate it. See why I love this community. Somebody's got an answer that's shorter than mine. Sorry for my long answer, guys. I hope you understand. Yeah. Sorry, I should have said that as well. Please don't be sorry. Guys, you have to ask. If I don't know, and if I can't get it, you know, someone here will You guys must never be shy to ask. Exactly, 777. And you know what? I mean, I don't want to use it as an excuse. Don't see it as that way. But it is a difficulty. I mean, English is not my first language. All right. And then I really, really have to think about what I'm saying for it to make sense even to me when I speak English so deliciously.
Flight level 100.
It's funny.
Landing
But it's
light
one of those
switches
things.
on.
I'm glad you were here to assist. But are you guys ready for the ILS Sky Active? I'm going to talk you through some of the other stuff when we get closer again. Eh? See, there we have our range rings. Looking nicely. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's a huge compliment. I tried. I tried. I'm still trying. Right, so using the range rings in this example is a little bit more difficult than if you were to fly straight in onto them, because we're going to cross them twice, or at least some of them twice. Okay, so we've got to be mindful of that.
Portugal 1330, establish at left runway 08, right number 2 for landing.
Our saving grace here is the fact that we have a teardrop. Okay, and what I'm going to do is, you see there's a deceleration point. I'm going to use flap 1 there already instead of using the first line. You know, so I'm going to be a little bit early, but if you want the actual printout of what I'm trying to explain, it's in my training checklist. Again, you can find it if you follow the link below the video to my private hangar. Go into the Zibo folder. There's a training checklist, and almost at the very bottom of 30 pages or something, you'll find the whole description of doing the flaps, you know, at which interval. And so also in my training video, that one when I did PMDG and the Zibo together, you get the straight in idea. It's going to be a bit easier to understand, but what you need to remember is flaps 1, flaps 5, gear down flaps 15, and landing flaps when we get to the inner circle. You know, and then it will make sense to you. So we'll do our best to make it look semi-pretty. Who's that? Who's that? That's Tower. Well, good morning, Skymatix 001.
Contact me and by knots.
P230 knots, Skymatix 001. Actually,
Transition level.
Go down.
Ready for approach
So we've
checklist.
switched over. Right, so I'm going to start pulling the flaps here. One. And we need to be at 230 now, so we might as well pull it.
Flaps one
I'm
set.
going to slow down a little bit faster from now on, so Skymatix 001.
001, Roger, speed 180 knots, please.
Going down to 180, Skymatix 001. Right, so he's obviously now requesting us to change our plan a little bit, but go watch the video, then you'll see exactly.
Southampton Tower, Skymatix 356 on the blocks. Thank you for the service.
Skymatix 356, flying.
Hey Jacob. I haven't noticed that, in all honesty. Not sure, my friend. I'll have to check now in the next flight. We were busy talking. I wasn't looking at the screen to actually discern it today.
Skymatix 4.59 on the blocks at standby. And switching to Unicorn 122.8.
Skymatix 078, clear for the ILS for making
So we're at the second line. We would have gone down to flaps 5 now. We're already there. Right, another thing, another tip. Now that we are in the position where we are almost going to land, get your runway heading.
001 speed at your understand.
Thank you, sir. Speed at my discretion. Skymatix 001. Get your runway heading set correctly already, eh? Make sure that you've got all the same headings, because if you need to do a go around, you don't want to go and fly off in a weird direction, especially if you were instructed to fly runway heading, which in 100% almost of all the cases is the case. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this line. As I'm turning there by the next deceleration point, I'm going to go gear down. You see it's almost on the line, which is then bringing us up to schedule. It's going to be gear down flaps 15, and I'll be ready before I get to my last waypoint. I'll be on my landing flaps already.
Skymatix 078, runway 20, clear to land, wind 130 degrees straight now.
ETZ traffic runway 08 right, vacated via Charlie Romeo, taxi to stand 14 via Charlie and Juliet.
I've just checked on the chart. It says the go around altitude is 3000. So we'll set that up later as well, just to be 100% prepared if we need to maybe do a go around. I hope not, but you never know.
Skymatix 001, cleared ILS, please, runway 20.
set cleared for the ILS, and
1000 to level off.
that's for runway 20, Skymatix 001.
Radio
Pull that
altimeter.
chart a bit. Right, so I'm going to hit my approach button, make sure we don't miss the ILS. There's the line coming up now, so let's go. Gear down, flaps 15. Then before we get to the middle, you see where that anticipation queue is now. It's going to come down, come down. We want to be in landing flaps configuration before it turns solid magenta. And then this little window will not open, you know, it will put less strain on us to get ready to land. There we go. There's flaps 30, flaps 40.
Ready for landing checklist.
Cannot see very much.
Cabin crew, take your seats, prepare for landing.
Southampton Tower, good day, Skymatix VA Flight T8, passing flight level 100.
Skymatix VA Flight T8, speed 250 knots.
Speed 250 knots, Skymatix VA Flight T8.
Right. You'll see the window's going to open shortly. The moment that thing goes solid magenta, the window here will open.
Skymatix VA 01, clear to land, runway 20, wind 134.
with you.
There you go. See, open and solid.
For ICF flight to Inverness at flight level 340 at gate 42 left, ready for pushing back and starting up.
Clear to land, Skymatix 001. Into the meter, the cloud should have broken up at about 1,600. We'll see now. Speed brake not on. Yes, now it is. Right. Landing flaps, 3 greens, auto brake set. Speed brake on. Let's see.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
There we've got some lights. There's the ground coming.
Good day, Southampton Tower. Skymatix 014. On the downwind leg.
Can you believe it? Okay.
500.
In real world, this was an aborted landing. I can tell you now. There's no ways anybody would land like this.
500.
Unless we can see that runway.
400.
We're in trouble. Look at that.
300.
Look at that.
Approaching decision height. 200. Minimums.
Wow.
100.
I was so ready to press that go around button. It was not even funny.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Ooh, that's a bit odd.
Speed brake up. Reverse unlocked. Auto brake in use.
I'm so scared to pull too hard. I really need to just take this aircraft a little bit and go check that flare,
Nice
because
landing. Really not bad
it's
this
now
time.
been a bit excessive in the last couple of flights, so I just need to go and check that again. But anyway, we made it. After landing procedure.
Skymatix 001, welcome to
After
Southampton,
landing
vacate to
procedure.
right.
Runway vacated, Skymatix 001.
Skymatix 001, taxi out there, please stand 7.
Stand 7 via Alpha, Skymatix 001. That was impressive, I must tell you. This was an awesome approach.
Complete.
Just sad that I didn't do the landing that great, but I do apologize. We'll pay for the chiropractors if you guys need them. Just let me know.
Which is 014, established 420.
Skymatix 014, wind 15,
Flaps up and
5 knots, runway 26.
It says Magnus.
Return Skymatix 014.
Jacob, the flaring has changed. It's part of all the work that Zibo has done, so I need to go and find my feet again with it. Because I don't fly so much, you guys literally see when I fly. I mean, I don't fly any other time. I'm gonna have to go and check it, because in my opinion, just my opinion, when I pull back a little bit, it's too much. And it's because of all the changes that's happened. You can go check my previous videos. I just barely touch the yoke and this thing literally shoots my nose back up into the air. You understand what I'm saying? So it's not because I'm trying to be funny. It's something I really need to investigate, because I feel uncomfortable with it at this point in time. I honestly do. At this time, I probably pulled back just a few millimeters, half of what I normally pull back. Excellent, Sky Active. Thank you for that. Yeah, I pulled back a few millimeters. I'm used to, let's say, for argument's sake, if I'm used to pulling a centimeter, I did half a centimeter now. Literally, I halved what I did usually. Because of that heavy nose up that happens. Where's this line? Which one is now 7? Be that one. That is what I'm thinking. My same thought, yes. It's just a bit too sensitive. It's like I lose my weight there at the very end, and when I pull, I lift that nose. You're welcome, Sky Active. Thank you, Jet Power. As long as you guys enjoyed it, that's the big thing. You learned something, you enjoyed it. I'm happy to have you guys here. You make it worthwhile, and if I can help, I'm really grateful. DAWLY.
Skymatix Flight T8, that's great for me, 20.
0 for runway
Ready
vacation.
for shutdown procedure.
Shutdown procedure.
014, taxi via stand 8.
Shutdown procedure.
Alpha stand 8, Skymatix 014.
Sorry, call for Skymatix 056.
cleared ILS, runway 20.
Cleared ILS, runway 20, SkymatixVA Flight.
Yes, Steve. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day. Who do we have left? Anybody else still coming in? Orbx. Yeah, David needs to still come in.
Schematic 052, runway 20, cleared to land.
And cleared to land, runway 20, SkymatixVA Flight T8.
Over Skymatix 001. We're on the blocks. Thank you for your service, and we'll see you next time.
Schematic 001, thanks for bringing your group flight to Southampton and Shannon.
You're welcome, James. Good luck with your problem. If it's not solved yet, did you delete that file and did your X-Plane start up now? Sky Active, it's very easy. When I stream, it's difficult to fly too long because people get bored. Even I get bored, okay? So I tend to go for short flights when we do the streaming. And the length of flight is usually what ends up being the deciding factor between airports. No, that's weird, James. That's so weird. Can you share your screen here on Discord with me? Alex, when we're in training and when we have things to talk about, I don't mind the 30 minutes longer either. But there are days and times when a 2-hour flight, streaming for 2.5, 3 hours to get a 2-hour flight in, it just becomes a bit much. Donegal. Yeah, I don't know if we can actually put the 7.3 in there. I'll have to investigate. I'm glad, William. That is a plug-in. It's called Auto DGS, I think. It's a freeware thing. I got it from the org. Auto DGS. Go see if that's the right word. Resources plugins. Yeah, it's called Auto DGS. Ooh, there's Anthony as well. Why didn't I see him on the map? I missed him. Sorry, Anthony. Welcome. Look at that crab still. Oh, this wind. Jump. Mind that vertical tail. It's gonna whack you. Look at all these ticks lining up here. Looks like all 9 of the guys. Hey, where's Anthony? Oh, there he is. All 9 of the guys made it today. Amazing. Welcome, 330 deck. Yeah, we'll do it again. We rotate a little bit, but we'll come back soon enough. I don't really have a schedule. We have a room here, or I have a room here where I do publish my flights like a day before the time. But I don't sit and calculate things too far ahead of time because of life. You know, it gets hectic. The only shortcut with runway view would be shift and number 3. So that will put you at the closest runway, you know, then you can just spin around. You see, you're literally on the runway. The only other one that might include a runway view is shift and 5. That will give you the ability to track your own aircraft as you come in, or you just look like this, because shift and 5 is tower view, you know, so the only views I know. Not sure if that will help you. And what's nice about both shift 3 and shift 5 is it obviously tracks your aircraft. So if you fly over your head, it turns you around automatically and you can follow yourself, you know, as you go in. Works very great with replays. Mm. 330 deck, when you come into Discord, please just click the OK button. You have to go to start here, rules. There's an OK button that you need to press. It will open the server for you. Otherwise, you're going to get stuck in the welcome room. You absolutely have to click the OK button because that invokes the scripts and gives you all your assigned roles and things. Okay. Good stuff. So then you can see all the rest of, you know, the Discord. And if you can't, you let me know, but you should be okay now. Daar's hy. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. And the ATC guys, thank you for your service. Ooh, 15 hours, then I'm skybound. That sounds interesting. Enjoy, Steve. Everyone else, go have a good rest of your Sunday and we'll catch up with you in the week, I'm sure. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.